Welcome back to the garage, guys. We're back at the plasma cutter, and you've seen us do lots of cutting with our JD's Garage plasma cutter. But one thing you've never seen is a computer attached to it. And that's because of this little guy right here. So in today's video, we're going to show you how to run the JD's Garage plasma cutter or any other Arduino based CNC machine wirelessly for just a couple of dollars. So the main reason we're controlling the machine wireless is because we got a pretty expensive laptop that we use for running Fusion, and we didn't really want to have that laptop out here connected to the machine and potentially get molten metal all over it and ruin it. So that's why we decided to explore a wireless option. Okay, so what this little guy is this is a Bluetooth module, and it's compatible with the Arduino, which is the brain for our CNC machine. And what this allows us to do is we can connect to the machine wirelessly, and we don't have to have our laptop in close proximity to the machine by needing a cable. So that keeps the laptop safer by not getting sparks and dust and things like that on it. So I can just take it, we 3D printed a little case, I can just take it, slide it out of here. But this particular model is an HC06. This is a slave Bluetooth module, so it can only receive data, it won't transmit any. And you can see our pins on the back here. We got 4 pins, our voltage positive, our ground, our transmit, and our receive. And our power is 3.6 to 6 volts, and our logic level is 3.3 volts. Well, on our Arduino, conveniently we have these pins at these required voltage levels. So the first thing we're going to do is give power to the machine. So I'm going to connect a wire to the V positive and a wire to the ground. And my positive I'm going to put in to the 3.3 volt, and my ground I'm just going to put into the ground. Now you're not seeing it turn on because they're not plugged in, so I'll give this a plug in through the USB cable on my computer. And you can see we're on. Our Arduino's on and our Bluetooth module is on. And when it's blinking red like this, that means it's not connected to anything right now. Now that we got all this hooked up, we can head on over to the computer. Okay, and now that we're at the computer, the first thing you're going to want to do is download the Arduino IDE. This is how we're going to set up the Bluetooth module. And once you have this downloaded and open it up, you should see something like this. And this is where this is basically how you edit code and upload it to the Arduino, but we're not going to do anything with that just yet. The first thing you're going to want to do before we start any of this is record all of your Gerbil settings. So if you've bought our plasma cutter plans and you haven't made any modifications to it, you should already have those, and you should be good to go. Because we are going to be overriding the code on the Arduino and thus wiping the firmware. So a new firmware flash is going to be required. So once we're here, the only thing we're going to need to do is just upload this blank sketch. Basically, we're going to wipe the Arduino clean of all the code that's on it. A couple things that you need to make sure is you need to make sure your board selected is an Arduino Uno if you are using one. If you're using a Nano or Mega on your machine, select the board accordingly. And then your COM port. We're going to be using COM port 4. It'll probably be different than on your computer, but it'll have your device connected to it. And then all we're going to do is just upload that sketch. So now that that's uploaded, we're going to go back to the Bluetooth module. And on the Bluetooth module, we can see that we have our transmit and our receive. So we're going to hook these up to the Arduino now. So I'm going to hook up transmit to transmit, or pin 1, and receive to receive, or pin 0. And the reason why we couldn't do this before is because if these two pins are occupied, your transmit and receive, you can't send data through our cable anymore. And we needed to wipe or upload the blank sketch to wipe the Arduino clean before we could put these two pins in to configure our Bluetooth module. Notice how you know it's still blinking red? Now we go back to the computer and we're going to open up the serial monitor. And you're going to make sure that no line ending is selected and 9600 baud rate. If you connected this properly, you should be able to send AT to the machine and it should come back with an OK. That's how you know this is hooked up properly. So what we can do is we can change the name and other settings like that. So the default name is going to be HC06. So I want to change the name to JD's Garage just because. So I'm going to type AT plus name and then JD's Garage. And I'm not going to have any spaces in any of this. And we're going to send that. And then we got a message back saying OK name. And this is going to have a default password of 1234 when you connect or when you pair this to like your phone or your computer, and you can change that pin number to whatever you want. So we'll send the AT command, AT pin, and I'm just going to change it to 1111, and we'll send. So now that you have your name configured and your pin configured to whatever you want, the last thing we're going to do is change our baud rate to 115,200. That's the baud rate that we're communicating with our G-code sender. We're using OpenBuild's G-code sender. You're going to have to know which baud rate your G-code sender is using. It's normally 9600 or 115,200. So you can see when we open up our serial monitor, we can change this, but we need to change this on the Bluetooth module. We're going to go AT plus baud 8. At baud 8, we'll change it to 115,200. So we got the baud rate changed, and if I look for a response from this again, I shouldn't get anything back. You can see we got nothing back. But if I start communicating at 115,200, I got a response back. That's so we know that it's communicating at the right baud rate. And what the baud rate is it's just sending or telling us how many bits it is sending to the Arduino per second. So 9600 would be 9,600 bits. This one would be 115,000, so on and so forth. Okay, so now that our Bluetooth module is configured, it's time to set it up so we can actually pair it to a device. So this is how you're going to pair to your PC, laptop, or whatever. You're going to go to your Bluetooth down in the settings, and then add Bluetooth or other device. We're going to select Bluetooth, and it's just going to search. And we just picked up JD's Garage, and we're going to connect to it, and it's going to ask for a pin. And we'll just put 1111. And that's kind of a good thing, so your neighbor or your friends or whatever can't just randomly connect to your plasma cutter and wreak some havoc. So we're ready to go. And see, we're paired now, and you'll have to do this on the PC. So I'm going to select the Bluetooth device. Then I'm going to go into more Bluetooth options. And now that we're paired, what this does is it emulates COM ports. So you can see here that we're connected to COM port 4. The Bluetooth is going to emulate them. And now you see how we have a 6 and a 7. We need to figure out which one we need to actually connect to. So we'll go back to our Bluetooth settings or Bluetooth options, and you'll see COM ports here. And the one we need to connect to is the outgoing, because we're sending information away from our computer to the Bluetooth. And then if we had a different model like an HC05, we could use the incoming to send data to our computer, but we can't do that. Okay, now that we have our Bluetooth configured properly, now it's time to open up the G-code sender and reflash the firmware. So now what I'm going to do is just close the Arduino down so I can close the COM port 4, because I need to connect to COM port 4 to flash firmware, and I can't have two applications doing that at one time. So I'm just going to close that. And this is very important because you can't send data through our line right now while these are connected. So I'm have to disconnect these two. Then I'm going to go to Wizards and Tools, Firmware Flashing Tool, and this is for our plasma cutter. We just use the default 2-axis Gerbil 1.1, and we're going to flash. And you can see that we're flashing right now. And then also we have our two orange lights, our transmit and receive, through this line right now, not through our Bluetooth. Now you can see we have our flash complete, and we're going to plug these two cables back in. Now we plugged them in transmit to transmit, receive to receive, but now we're going to swap the two. We're going to go backwards. The only reason why we had to connect them with their similar names is to set up the module. To actually use the module, you have to connect it backwards. So I'm going to connect the transmit to receive and the receive to transmit. And since we know that this is COM6, we could connect via COM6. COM6 is the one we need to connect to, and now you see our light is red. So we are connected to it. And as you can see, we're still plugged in. So if you don't really believe me, we'll get this set up with an external power supply, not using the computer, and do the same thing. So for an external power supply, this is how we're doing it in our plasma cutter too, is we're just using a regular cell phone adapter, and you need to make sure that it does have a 5 to 9 volt range, because that's what the Arduino operates on. So we could just take the cable that we had plugged in our computer, plug this in here, and then stick this thing back in the wall. So we got this plugged back into the wall, and we're going to connect to it wirelessly again. Notice how COM4 doesn't show up now because we're not plugged into the computer, and we're just going to connect. And you can see we're paired. So you can see we're paired on the computer. Our red light is on, and if we track this cable back, it is just plugged into the wall. So we just have one of these in our plasma cutter box, and we're just running just spade connectors to hook onto the power for the external power supply. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we can just go back to Gerbil settings and change all these back to the way they were. If you're using a different G-code sender than OpenBuild's control, you'll have to change it accordingly based on however they're asking you to do it. But once that's set up, you should be back to the way you were, but now you can connect wirelessly. So you can see here we have our Bluetooth module back in the plasma cutter. You can see here that we got our red light, so that means we're not connected. And here is the external power supply that I was talking about earlier. You can see the cable runs back into our Arduino back in there. So we got the computer here, and we're going to connect to COM6, and looks like we're connected. We can set our 0 point, and we could jog the machine around. You can see that. So we'll reset our 0 and then we can open a file here, and I already have one open, but we can run the job. So as you can see, obviously there's no metal or no plasma cutter, anything like that. It's not turning on because, well, there's nothing loaded, but you can hear the relay clicking on and off. So another thing that's pretty cool is we can run this through our phone too. So I'm in the Bluetooth section of my phone, and you can see our plasma cutter showed up here. So I'm just going to pair to it. It's going to ask me for the pin 1111. I'm going to pair. And it looks like we're paired. So now next I'm going to go to Gerbil controller. You could just download this from the App Store, Play Store, whatever type of phone you have. Then we can go Bluetooth. Then we could select our plasma cutter. And you could see where we just got connected. So we could jog the machine around. And we could set our work coordinates. So we could set our 0 and set our other 0. Yeah, I missed it, but you get the idea. And then we can go to this tab and we can open up our files. A couple things to note while using this is when you do install this, you do lose the ability to connect to the machine through a cable. If you want to go back and do that again, you'll have to pull these wires out of the transmit and receive, like I said earlier, and then you'll be able to plug in with a cable again. But if this is plugged in and operational, you won't be able to do that. Also, we use an Arduino Uno, and we are using Gerbil as the firmware. If you have a different board, like a Mega, or you're running different firmware, make sure that you use open pins. Like pins 1 and 0 might already be taken. You can't configure this to run on any pin, and you'll have to upload a different code while doing that instead of a blank sketch. A link to where you can find that code will be in the description. You just change the pin numbers. But that said, I hope you liked the video, and be sure to like and subscribe.